What's up, 745ers? The sky and the ceiling. How you feeling?
Good. How are you feeling?
Great. I'm
Awesome.
fantastic. This is very cool.
This is GPS Grandpa Steve.
Oops.
Yeah, you can put that on the side.
Sorry, folks.
No, all good.
Okay.
Yeah. This is my grandpa. And we decided today's our generation is pretty different to their generation. So we decided to have a little compare and contrast. And you're our official second guest on the 745.
Yeah.
Well, I'm really happy to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
And probably one of our bigger fans.
Yeah.
We get a comment on
Yes,
each video. Yeah.
Yes. This is our chill pod of the 2 pods of the month.
So nothing too
crazy.
Yeah.
But we do have a main question, a main thing of this episode.
Yeah.
Looking at today's youth, what's your biggest concern and what advice would you like to give to today's youth? And then how do you think your youth differs from our generation's childhood?
Let's go to the first part.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
What was that again?
Looking at today's
First of all, we have to take all of this in, digest it.
Yeah,
and
this
then,
is sort of like a rapid fire
because
there was it wanted to be a little bit of a surprise kind of factor.
Yeah.
It's a surprise.
So here you go.
But yeah.
Okay.
What's your biggest concern for our generation?
Ooh, well,
Where do I begin?
now we're getting serious.
Yeah.
But look, the world we live in today is very scary and very unpredictable. We really don't know. I mean, things have to kind of settle down. We need leadership in America that we can depend on and feel comfortable and safe. We can't control everything. We have to just make the best of it and just take care of each other.
Yes, wise words.
Yeah, good job on the spot.
Yeah. What do you think?
I think our generation, I think we need to stop being so political and sort of just hunker down and kind of work out these issues. I think it's kind of a lot about status and reputation right now, especially with social media. That's really kind of plugging it. But I think if we kind of put the egos aside and kind of just hunker down, we could probably fix a lot of issues.
Yeah.
Social media is a blessing and a curse.
It
It's
is.
really it's terrific in communicating. It's something that was unheard of a long time ago, and it has refined itself. But I think that it can influence people to a very negative way, as what's been happening recently, especially on the college campuses, because you just want to go to school and get an education. And at our time, when I was in college a long time ago, in the 60s, I was at San Francisco State. And those folks that remember that time, there was a lot of demonstrations and a lot of issues that were going on, primarily about Vietnam and civil rights and all of that. But people just showed up. There wasn't social media that said, okay, be at a specific place at a specific time. They were just there. Nobody was camping out and staying overnight or anything like that. They'd go home at the end of the day. There was a lot of demonstration, a lot of stuff going on, but it involved our generation and it involved America because we were involved in the Vietnam War at the time, along with other things that were going on. So social media has worked in a positive way for people to express themselves and do something like this. This is great. But at the same time, it gets out of control. And I think that we have to use it for the benefit it provides and not get totally consumed with a lot of the negative rhetoric that is being spouted.
Yeah.
Has like social media like affected you ever negatively?
No. Not on Facebook. I'm on Instagram.
Yes.
And I get the postings. I don't post anything. I like the entertainment. I follow a lot of fun stuff and interesting things and clips from bloopers of TV shows.
Yes.
And I just watch it for the fun of it.
Speaking
good,
of,
yeah.
follow 745 on Instagram.
Yeah, follow and TikTok.
And TikTok, yes.
Should we start a Facebook?
Yes, we have to now.
I'm not on TikTok.
Yeah,
You don't
TikTok.
need
I
to
feel
be.
like
It's kind of
TikTok's a little more like
nuanced.
a little more
it's-
interesting.
It's not as refined or cleaned up as Instagram.
Yeah.
So I would just stay on Instagram.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
think technology is like a big part. I guess that's like a big change. Is there's so much more technology, and especially with COVID and just being able to text, FaceTime, call. I think people have like a lack of affection because I know what you're talking about how like people it's more of an ego thing, and I feel like our generation tends to care less. Like we just don't care anymore, like or strongly, and I think we need to start doing that again, showing more affection, being more compassionate towards each other, especially with all these issues like going around like right now. I think we need to start showing more compassion and just like look at it like without trying to like just pick your own side and play for your own team.
Yeah.
Kind of what we talked about on the Young Men's Mental Health Pod.
I think. Oh yeah. Also, like on the Chill Pod, I mentioned like a sort of like a video diary.
Yeah.
And I feel like sometimes, like, when people sort of like, I feel like sometimes they almost get too comfortable with social media. I feel like that's sort of one of the bigger dangers. And so, you have something to say?
No, I was going to ask you, do you think that social media has impacted just how people communicate with each other instead of relying on picking up a phone, or of course everybody has a cell phone, but instead of calling someone, you'll post something. I mean, it's a shortcut to when people are having an event or something, and everybody sees what it is. But I think that it's kind of worked in a negative way. From communication, people aren't as open or available.
Yeah.
The biggest ones would be obviously Snapchat and DMing.
Yeah.
It's a little weird because now you could DM or like text quite literally anybody if you just look up their names. That's a little bit scary, and that's caused its whole other world of problems regarding certain certain things,
like stalking or
inappropriate messaging.
I have a friend. He's like super over. He's not over dramatic, but he kind of over stresses about tons of things, and he's like, "I'm not stalking. Like, what is like stalking?" Wait, I thought I turned on
Do Not Disturb.
I thought I turned on Do Not Disturb. What's going on here? Okay, good. Sorry about that, guys. But he's like, wait, but like, where does stalking start? I don't want to stalk, and then it's like, I'm not a stalker, and it's really like confusing. So all of like communication can get like totally mixed up.
Wonky. And then for Snapchat, I don't know if you know what that is.
I've heard of it.
Okay, So instead of like texting, you send a photo of yourself with words on it, I think people make it a big deal, like, oh my gosh, I got a photo of half of their face. That's better than getting a photo of their ceiling. Yeah. And a full face photo is better than a half a face photo. I don't know.
I'll sort of translate. Basically, I think like they basically. People can read into like the photo the type of photo that they send. Like if someone sends you a photo of their ceiling, it means they're like they don't even
care
know
about
you, don't even really like care about you.
It's kind of like stupid.
Yeah, if they send a photo of
just
half their face, they know you,
they
but
kind of know
they sort of care. Okay,
so somebody had to make up what all those things mean.
It wasn't even like someone. It just sort of like happened.
Yeah, and it's so unnecessary.
Yeah, it really is, and that's
so unnecessary.
that's one of the like worst things I hate about social media is now people are are like reading into like
so many things that
or
are
like
so
so weird. Did you ever like read into any weird social cues or anything?
Yeah.
Were there any like myths or anything like?
Myths.
Yeah, like people will
Exactly.
like post on social. Oh, if like someone such like looks at you for like 30 seconds, they're like in love with you.
Yeah,
or
if you
something.
make eye contact with somebody for 30 seconds.
It's like and like that's I mean that's sort of like a smaller scale, but like if you upscale that to like world is dying, blah blah blah, people will believe it because people also believe the.
Well, people believe quite literally anything these days.
Do we know how to like fix that? It keeps.
Yeah.
There you go. Sorry, my computer keeps
like
almost
dying,
falling asleep.
No.
I can relate. No.
We filmed 3 pods before this.
Yeah, this is our 4th podcast in a row.
We've been talking a lot today.
Yeah.
4th?
Yeah. You are our 4th.
Wow.
Save the best for last.
Yes.
So you were saying about
any weird social cues that you read into or overthought?
No, I don't remember. I'm sure there were, but can't think of it. Can't pinpoint anything.
How about like misinformation? Like, is it like? Do you think it's like easier or like harder to believe something now because of social media?
I think it's it really depends on what the subject is because somebody could start a rumor and it'll catch like wildfire and just take off.
Yeah.
And then they have to say, okay, let's come back. Everybody come back to square one. Let's clear this up. I think, though, that a long time ago, before all of this was available, people would start, rumors were always around. It became the telephone game where somebody would say something and then it would get mixed up in translation as it would go around to other people.
Yeah.
So in a way, that was what social media might have been, for our generation.
Yeah. I was just thinking it's because like on the one hand, like people can like distort videos to make it seem like something's happening when it's really not. But also, like with no social media or like cell phone even, you have to hear everything by ear. So are you gonna like take it with a grain of salt, or are you believing it?
I guess again, it just really depends on what the story is, because if somebody says something, wow, that's impossible. I don't believe it.
Yeah.
And then they say, well, that could happen. Yeah. So really, I think it just depends on, what the subject might be.
I think it's important for our generation.
Sorry. Okay, this is getting annoying. Is it still okay? Good. It's still recording. Okay.
Sorry, guys. Plug it in.
No, I don't know why it keeps shutting off.
Yeah.
But I'll. Yeah.
Technology.
Exactly.
That's also the thing is like it's improving still.
Yeah.
We're like we're not finished.
Yeah, we still have so much more to improve. I think it's just important for our generation, especially, to stay critically think about things and stay informed and not just like believe everything we see.
Yeah, I think so too. It's like because sometimes like even in school, like just what like school kind of information, I try and not believe it, or I guess like read into it too much if I find something sort of outlandish.
Yeah.
I'm like really leaning into seeing is believing right now, because it's like really easy to be misinformed.
Yeah, agreed.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and then that also makes me think like, have I been misinformed and I don't know?
No way. Yeah. Oh,
that's the
so
scariest
scary.
part.
Yeah, yes, and I guess it comes right back to whatever the subject might be.
Yeah.
And the source. Who did you hear it from?
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
Is this a reliable source? Is this somebody we can, they're crazy. I can't believe it. That's not.
Yeah.
So that's the two things, the subject matter and where are you hearing it from?
Yeah.
Awesome. A lot of wise words were spoken.
Yeah. Yeah.
So a sub question we had was I guess we can continue asking more of the questions. What advice would you give to today's youth?
Well, find your passion. Whatever it is that gives you self-fulfillment, gratification, go for it. And don't be influenced negatively by other things you might hear, or like if you hear something like, oh, that's not for you, or that's not right.
Yeah.
Don't believe it. If you have a desire to do something, to be someone, to follow a career path, don't let anyone influence you negatively. Find your passion, become the very best you can be at whatever it is, and don't take in the negativity. Don't accept it.
Yeah.
Somebody once told me it's somebody could hand you a negative rock, and you don't have to accept that negative rock.
Yeah.
And focus on the positive. I think that you guys have got a great opportunity in front of you. We don't know where all of this is going to go with everything, but you're probably better informed, better educated, and have more opportunity than any generation ever.
Yeah.
And it's all evolving, and it's only going to get better. So follow your passion, don't accept negativity, and I think that look for opportunity as it comes to you.
Yeah.
And you're going to do great.
Awesome. That gives me lots of hope. I think like I'm reading Arnold Schwarzenegger's book, and he mentioned he's big about like visions and dreams and chasing them and whatnot, because he probably did some of the hardest jobs, like, or most scarce jobs, like bodybuilder, actor, and governor.
Yeah.
And so he said exactly what you said: be the best at it and make it like something you can sell, something that is like something that people will watch. Because I feel like you said that, and like, I mean, me personally, I want to go into like marine biology, but I know no one really wants to pay a marine biologist.
Sounds fishy.
Yeah. So like I'm like trying to take his advice and be like, how could this like not only be like profitable-ish, but like help in a profitable way, like get more people involved in my circle, sort of way. And so that's why I really like your advice, and I'm also going to take some of his. Thoughts?
Sounds good.
Sounds good.
Well, I don't know anything about marine biology, but I think it's very exciting because, we never know what the opportunities will come to us from discoveries from the ocean.
Yeah.
And think about it too, there's some jobs that just haven't been created yet.
Oh,
Exactly.
yeah.
Like influencer was not a job 20 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
That's right.
Yeah, so maybe marine biology will have some crazy new job regarding marine biology, but it's just not a thing yet.
I heard I forgot who told me this. They were a reliable source. But they told me that like probably most of us are gonna have jobs that aren't invented yet.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
It's kind of crazy. Who's gonna do you think the jobs are just gonna be like created, or there's just gonna be like a certain situation where it like calls for someone who could do that job?
Something.
I'm sorry, say that again?
I feel like
senior moment.
No. It's a kind of a weird question because do you think like circumstances will call, like do you think there will be a demand for a certain job, or do you think like someone will come up with an idea to...
Well, they'll come up with an idea and then there'll be a demand.
Yeah.
But what I was thinking, which is really, as I think back on this and what you're saying, watch the movie Back to the Future, the first one.
Oh, yeah.
Because the first one, everybody laughed at, Michael J. Fox, that character who ends up going backwards in time and ends up in his family's home in the 1950s. And it was so interesting the way they told the story because he knew what was coming up. Yeah. He knew the things that were going to be invented. And that's almost like saying today, we don't know what's coming up. And if somebody could come here and say, you can't believe what's going to
Yeah.
happen.
Yeah.
I mean, when we were growing up, we had black and white televisions with about 7 channels.
Oh,
and
wow, yeah.
and
Wow.
at
It's
midnight, they went off the air. There was no more television until
No.
6 o'clock the next morning. And now you have cable and satellite and streaming and all of this stuff that I don't even know how people have time to watch all of the stuff that's on
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
So, but that movie kind of crystallizes and tells you in a very funny way,
Yeah.
because it was a great film,
Oh yeah.
about how we are looking forward to something that we don't know that's going to happen
Exactly.
yet.
Yeah. Wow.
Pretty cool.
I never thought about it that
So
way.
much to look forward to.
There
Back
you go.
to the present,
Yeah.
That's right.
or in the present. Or, I don't know.
Stay in the moment.
Stay in the moment.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right.
Speaking of like following your passion and that's how what your advice is, what was the most fulfilling thing or fulfilling job or thing you've had in your life?
Being a dad
Mm.
Oh, yeah.
and a grandfather.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the most fulfilling. That's great because raising your kids and it's on the job training because nobody goes to school.
Yeah.
It's like
Uh-huh.
if you've never tasted beer, how do you explain to someone what beer tastes like?
Yeah.
Taste it, then you know. So it's on the job training and oh hi puppy. It's really a lot of fun. I did a lot of things in my career path in the world of business and stuff, but it was fun and enjoyable. But I think that being a dad has been the best part of it.
We've been speaking a lot on like the
Yeah.
future, our future children.
Oh yeah.
We've been speaking a lot about this.
Our previous podcast episode was like we were talking about like if we could talk to our children, like especially if they're at our age,
watching
you know?
this back because
And
they would
it's-
be able to see this.
It's
That's
sort of,
right.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's sort of full circle because oh wait, okay, I have it's full circle because like we're comparing you to us
Us.
now, but they'll be comparing us to
now.
us now to them
Them
now.
now.
Then
That's
then
Yes.
Then.
but yes, but also what's even more crazy to me, it's like really like kind of like showing me that I'm growing up is like in the little descriptions it's like 8 years ago or like 2 years ago or
Yeah.
3 years ago. Some videos are 15 years old, and by the time we show our
That's
kids,
crazy.
it could be like 30 years old or like
That's
40.
wild.
Oh my god! Imagine it's like 500 years old.
Yeah, we had pictures. Families had black and white photos, and then we had 8mm movies that people were taking back in the 50s and 60s of family, and then it was videotape, and you had this VCR that was connected to your
Yeah.
television, and you'd pop that in. There were cassettes and all that stuff. So everything evolves, and now more than ever, your generation is going to go into the future, and your children and grandchildren are going to be able to look at a computer and see what was happening way back in 2024.
Yeah. Crazy to say way back in 2020.
And they're going to
know.
say, "Oh, Dad, are we going to have to look at this again?"
No, do you think it's gonna curve out like this, or do you think it's gonna get like faster and faster and faster and faster and faster?
Yeah, it's moving at warp speed.
Warp
Yeah.
speed?
It's moving quickly. It's moving very quickly.
Yeah.
There's stuff going on, I'm sure, right now that the Elon Musks of the world are working on. Look at what he just recently did about implanting a chip in someone's brain.
Oh yeah, the
Oh, yeah, that
Neuralink.
guy.
Yeah, it's. I mean, that's weird. I mean, we've never imagined anything
That's
like
like
that.
so real.
It's like dystopian.
Yeah,
So
it's
dystopian.
crazy.
It's kind of scary.
Yeah.
Would you ever do it?
Would I do the Neuralink?
Yeah.
I feel like
I asked him this.
Hope you don't need it.
yeah. No. I think I would only do
for free.
for free. I'd only do the Neuralink if like the world was apocalyptic and they need like a hero and I need to go on some like an insane training arc, or like if they needed if they needed a hero, but
That's very brave of you.
That's
Yeah.
very courageous. I'm not
That's
doing
very,
that.
very
Yeah.
brave of you.
but it
Yeah, you got it.
You
Zach.
You don't need it.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's the thing. I feel like I should be in charge of my brain.
Yeah.
That will
Like-
100%.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like, why-
You're able to think your own thoughts.
Yeah,
And there's a
and-
lot of people out there that should be in charge of their brain and
Aren't.
they're
Yeah.
not.
And it's like, why are you living your life for somebody else?
Or for
If it's-
something.
Yeah,
It's very
Well,
important.
that
Hard question.
yeah.
it gets
It gets
Pass me.
complicated. But
Yeah.
yeah, right.
But yeah, any
Last question.
final thoughts or any last things you'd want to say? Or
No, thank you so much for asking me to be here. This is a real treat.
We'd love
Yeah.
to have you.
I know, yeah, number one fan, pretty much.
Well, I'm very impressed with all of the opportunity that you guys have. And
Yeah.
who would have imagined that people could do their own little television show and call it a podcast? And
yeah. Oh, we're calling it a Grandpod.
oh, that's great! I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Elijah.
Elijah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's really good. I like
That's
that.
really good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Awesome. Thank you so much for coming
on the
yeah, thanks
podcast.
for being on our pod.
Thank you very much for the geezer time. I appreciate
Yeah,
it.
Yeah.
of course. Yeah.
Great job.
All right.
Thanks, everybody.
Thanks so much for watching. Keep.
Buy our merch.
Oh yes,
Buy
let's
our
talk about
wristbands.
that.
Oh yeah, don't forget the wristbands.
Wristbands and stickers. DM us, email us, come find us if
Yeah.
you know us.
Don't stalk us, but
yeah,
maybe.
Don't suck it.
No, don't.
Don't suck us.
All right.
Thank you so much. Keep on keeping on.
Keep on keeping on.
Beautiful.
All right.
Zach, I love that picture.